me all day long, but I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now.
Yes.
But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's getting ready to go through another update. You know, we change things up here around here often as I get time to do so. I love redecorating.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Mary.
Wow, it's been a weekend of interestedness. Now, on Friday's show, I kind of drew a hard line on a missing persons case. And I have hard lines on missing persons cases in general. Unfortunately, they did happen to find the body in Wyoming County, in Wyoming State.
Oh, Shannon says you redecorated your face.
Yes, I did. Because you know, I got tired of like beard soaking wet. No, I'll go clean shaven, throw some makeup on, and be done with it.
Well, he's been trying to hold on to it, but with the masks, it's been a long, hard fight, and he's like, I'm done. I just can't do this. Like, it's just bleh.
Right.
And I can understand. I know when I was a little bushier, I was noticing it too. Is like the masks would end up getting really like damp.
Right. And then I have problems breathing through them. And it's like, no, it's time to change it.
Aw, Shannon's like, I've never seen him without it.
Yeah, so you probably haven't, because it had been like 3 years since I had shaved, you know, the goatee. But it was time for it to go away.
Oh.
I look younger. I kind of like that effect. Yeah. Yeah, great plastic surgery. Great plastic surgery.
Aw.
Yeah, I can do the face challenge now.
The face challenge?
Yeah, it's where you cover your face in face. You do your face and then you cover it in face cream and you can wipe it off and it shows the makeup.
Ah, okay. Got you now.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. You kept threatening to like color the beard.
Well, I have colored the beard before.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that when we originally went purple. I'm just not happy with any of the purples I find. Like the ones, I'm not happy at all.
Yeah, they kind of inadvertently discontinued your hair color on you.
Yes.
Like you had a hair color, it was rocking, you were rocking it, and then it went away.
Yeah.
We have never seen that number again.
No. As soon as I find it again, though, I'm buying stock in it. Because
yeah,
that
really.
Expire.
Yeah, it was an interesting shade.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Oh, but yeah, life is life.
I know.
But no, they found Gabby's body in Wyoming in a natural reserve. They have not found her boyfriend, who's a person of interest. But the FBI is declared the house a crime scene, so it makes me question what's that about. R49 was my hair color that I haven't been able to find yet.
Something like that. I had it written down. I was good. I could go get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden it disappeared everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very specific shade of the purple.
Right.
And no.
We
haven't seen it back this way.
Right.
So doesn't mean we won't run across it elsewhere. But yeah, so they found Gabby.
They found Gabby's body, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
This is the harder side of the missing persons cases when the body is found. So it was declared a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're reporting blunt force trauma. So someone knocked her in the head.
Well, no, that's not always what they mean.
Right.
Like, depending, like, she was in a nature preserve.
Mm-hmm.
She could have fallen.
Right.
Because that would still be a blunt force trauma if you land, on a hard surface.
Right, but they're saying that after the autopsy, it is homicide.
Okay.
Yeah. It isn't speculation anymore. It is homicide.
Okay.
She was found in Grand Teton National Park and Bridges, Teton National Forest. So it took nearly 2 weeks. And what was interesting is how they found them. Well, found the body. Another YouTuber had been filming in the park and caught it there.
Yeah. Well, that she had been there.
Right.
Basically, like she was,
Yeah.
in the video. Yeah. So that was the last place that anyone had seen her at that.
So I hope they find the boyfriend. I hope they find the boyfriend alive, because there's a lot of answers we need here. A lot of answers need to be answered up and offered up. I do know they towed his Mustang this morning that was sitting at his parents' house. They have declared his parents' house a crime scene. So it'll be interesting to find out. But no one's saying where the RV is. Like the camper van they were living in. No one's pointed out where that is. I haven't seen any news coverage where this van is.
My understanding was he showed back up with it, but without her, and I thought it was a rental.
That's a little much to be renting, because they were going cross country.
Well, it's still cheaper than buying one.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I think the RV packages aren't that bad.
No, they're not.
Like, they're surprisingly better than you would imagine. Yeah. But, hi, Cat's Tree Meow.
Yes. Hello, Cat's Tree Meow. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you over on Twitch.
So yeah. And then Mary says, absolutely, FBI, maybe even Interpol, should if he's departed the U.S.
Yes. Again, I think that it should be all points pointed, and be sure to be keeping an eye out for this dangerous person of interest. I'm really not happy with the way Florida police are handling this. Like, I watched one of the interviews of one of the detectives, and I'm sorry, I have seen people that are professional and not amped up before and have controlled emotions. This guy was like telling you how wallpaper dries, discussing this case. And I'm like, that's not getting you anywhere. Yeah.
Well, fundamentally for Florida, the only thing they have to do is to find him, locate him, arrest him, and deport him. Well, not deport, but extradite.
Well, not even that, because if he's arrested by FBI can transport them anywhere.
True. They really are the UPS of humans.
Well, actually, the U.S. Marshals are the true UPS of humans.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it's quite interesting watching U.S. Marshals work.
Oh, very cool.
Yep. So it's interesting. Of course, everyone knows of the Tartanius bill that Texas has passed.
Yeah, I don't think anyone missed that one. In case you've been under a rock,
yes.
Texas has not only banned abortion after, I believe it is 6 weeks, but has also put a $10,000 bounty up for information regarding someone attempting or helping to provide an abortion.
Right.
After the 6 week mark.
Right. So Illinois representative introduced a bill called the Texas bill. You would think this was a copy of the Texas bill. No! The Texas bill puts a bounty of $10,000 in damages on anyone aiding in abortion, either getting it all the way down to the person driving them to the clinic. So the Illinois bill said, oh, Texas, you look cute. Now, granted, I don't agree with a lot of Illinois practices or government, and I think at one time they had probably the worst government in the world. But this state representative, Kelly Cassidy, Democrat for Chicago, I like her way of thinking. She proposed instead of giving Illinoisans the right to seek at least 10,000 in damages against anyone who causes an who has an abortion, to go after the ones that are causing the unwanted pregnancies, even if it's a result of consensual sex, or anyone who commits sexual assault or abuse, including domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this quote: if folks are policing the bodies of people who are seeking reproductive health care in Texas, well, then maybe we should be policing the bodies of the people who are causing these problems here in Illinois.
Fair enough.
Nice soundbite. Nice soundbite.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I doubt this one's going to make it all the way through. But it should.
It should.
Yeah. Like, I would just like to see that one occur.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. Even the bill's sponsor, modeled a lot of the bill after Texas's law, and did admit it was kind of trolling them.
Right.
But she is very serious about. She does think this is legitimate.
Well, I think that it should be legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
We have been controlling only one half of this bed for too many years. We shouldn't even be controlling that half of the bed. But dang it, if they're going to do one, they need to do the other.
Right. Absolutely.
It needs to just, all of it needs to go away.
Mm-hmm.
The government doesn't need to be in the doctor's office for any reason.
I mean, see, I have to stop before going that far with it. As in, do I think that between any two individuals, or that should a medical procedure be decided on between a patient and a physician, and it's a legitimate treatment for a known condition, it's a recognized treatment for a known condition, then no, I don't think the government has any place there.
Mm-mm.
However, I'd stop short of saying no, it should have nothing to do with healthcare. Because there are situations, and there have been legitimate situations. It's like, no, we need a law for that. Like, no.
Right.
So that's where I'm at.
Right.
But yeah.
And let's see what else is going on. Of course, we're hoping not to have a government shutdown. And, the House has passed a bill to avoid the government shutdown, suspending the debt limit. But it faces Senate roadblocks with deadlines nearing. Mm-hmm. And we know one of them will be McConnell, Mitch McConnell and the snapping turtle.
Oh, yeah.
We know that it'll be Manchin. Manchin's a turncoat.
Well, supposedly right now, like, the theory is he potentially has a lot of leverage.
Right.
So I would hope to see him use that leverage.
Well, I'd hope for him to do something. Like, I am tired of him not representing West Virginia, which he was paid to do, and is being paid to do. I'm tired of him getting news bites. I'm tired of him being up there not doing a damn thing. He is supposed to be on there on a Democratic ticket. It's supposed to be a Democratic chair. He should be acting as a Democrat. If he isn't acting as a Democrat, he needs to get out of the office. The seat's already going to be gone anyhow.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Right.
I hate it. On one hand, it could potentially do a lot of good for West Virginia if he were working the leverage aspect for West Virginia. I understand that could be good for us. That could do many good things for us. But so far, it's just been a lot of like trying to get reelected for a position you supposedly didn't want to run for again.
Right.
Like,
again.
So why are you continuing to fan the fire of your voting base?
Well, I feel he's continuing to fire, collecting money for not doing a job, and as his employer, I want him written up. I want him censored.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's moderate or not. He has blocked more bills that would benefit this country
Mm-hmm.
in the past 6 months than he has ever done. He has forgotten what West Virginia is for, and let us not forget what his daughter done.
Well, yeah, that's probably one of the most hated aspects there. And it's not just his daughter and upping the cost of EpiPens. It's more so the continuing support for pharmaceutical industry
Mm-hmm.
that keeps upping the cost of meds, of basically what would be considered a routine medicine.
Yeah.
That has had no major update to it, by companies that will sit there and scream about research and development, but it's really only a small portion of their budget.
Right. Most of it goes in for point blank bonuses,
Mm-hmm.
paying their executives, lobbying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is why in the U.S. we pay so much for medicine comparative to Canada, who says, oh, no. That pill's out been 10 years. We will pay you $5 for the 30-day prescription. Get over it.
Yeah. Basically. So, yeah. Well, and yeah, R&D can be written off of corporate taxes. And let me be very blunt. I do want these companies to continue research and development. However, realistically, if they were not lobbying so hard to keep some of the drugs that they have under, some kind of special privilege, either that of trademark, of copyright, of, whatever, or trying to keep the rates artificially high for them, they would still have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. They would.
Yeah, because they're spending a lot just trying to keep those meds name brand.
Right.
Or making minor tweaks to make a brand that is effectively falling into public use, that is getting ready to go generic. Mm-hmm. Trying to just keep those, to themselves in a new formulation.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think we all went through that with some med or another at one point in our life. There was Claritin, there was Claritin D, there was Clarinex, there was Clara. You know what I mean? It just kept going.
Yes.
And it's like you literally just took the original formula and you went, we'll add a little to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really research and development.
Right.
Like that was kind of you just planned this. Mm-hmm. You knew how people were commonly using your meds.
Right.
That's not really a development.
Exactly.
You really didn't have to do a lot of research to mm-hmm. figure out that people with allergies also have congestion.
Right.
Like that's kind of a high.
Yeah.
It's real simple to get there from here. Mm-hmm. It was a groundbreaking novel research to go, all these allergy sufferers have a few other things in common.
Mm-hmm. And furthermore, why didn't they include it to begin with?
Yeah. Well, and Shannon asks, if tax money goes towards research and development, I don't think they should get to keep it under a trademark or anything like that.
Exactly.
I can see the strong push for that.
Right.
Especially in an age of, COVID-19 and, vaccination. Mm-hmm. That, okay, how much government money do you really want to be grabbing here?
Right.
As in, you shouldn't necessarily, in the middle of a crisis, effectively give price gouging.
Right.
Like, we don't call it that. We don't treat it that way. It's treated like a totally different thing. But when you look at it at the end of the day, kind of exactly what you're doing is price gouging.
Yeah. And they have been doing it. If it was gasoline, it wouldn't be this problem.
Yeah.
We covered gasoline, oil, and fuel to where they can't do those. Now we need to start treating medication this way.
Right.
You see AOC's dress?
No.
She had a beautiful white gown, and it looked like someone had took red paint on the back of it and said wrote "tax the rich."
Yes.
Yes,
I did see that.
yeah. She should have checked her receipts because the company that she bought the dress from, the designer, is in tax problems. They didn't pay their taxes for their employees.
Oh dear.
It's like 2 months overdue. They've got government taxes out the wazoo, and it's like, what the hell, AOC? Like, your stylist should have been fired.
Well, yeah. Well, it's more so one of those things that, like, the message though still resonated.
Yeah.
I think that's the more important part.
Yeah.
Oh, Shannon's saying, I think it was a borrow, not a buy.
Well, still, it increased in value. So maybe they'll be able to pay the employment taxes for their employees.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, she could have worn a tiara that message tax the rich.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
And what gets me is the men who are the wealthiest have said, please increase my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Increase my taxes. Stop treating, I don't need a special tax bracket. Increase my taxes.
Right.
And it was like, huh?
Absolutely.
People are asking to increase their taxes. It's against tax law not to pay your taxes at the proper rate.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem here?
Yeah. Absolutely.
No. Although she's been busy in this new finance bill.
Okay.
She forced the House Dems to squash the $1 billion to Iran's Iron Dome from the spending bill.
Oh, that's a lot. One, it's a lot of money.
It is.
But yeah, that's kind of a...
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Our taxation and how we spend sometimes is very confusing.
Well, I don't get why we're paying $1 billion to protect another country.
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion could take care of our free lunch program.
True.
$1 billion could be taking care of other things.
Very much could.
No. So it's like you.
Yeah.
So I think we need to do line order. So tell us about our lovely St. Louis lawyers. What are they up to now?
Oh, so y'all might remember quite a while back, end of June, that Mark and Patricia McCloskey pointed some guns at some protesters. This is in the middle of the whole BLM shit show. I don't mean that about BLM. BLM's great. But the shit show it turned into in terms of counter-protesting and idiocy of people who were anti-protest. So these were two lawyers in St. Louis who were very unhappy that if I remember right, their quiet patio breakfast was interrupted with, a protest. And they decided to point guns at the protesters. They have now found themselves effectively facing the suspension of their law licenses. Bye-bye, law license.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But yeah, so basically what they've been charged with, and they have pled guilty to misdemeanor harassment, and ordered to pay a fine of $2,000. Yeah. Welcome to the being rich and being able to buy your way out of things.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, $2,000 probably not a big deal for two lawyers. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably not a very big deal in general. I'm glad they take their law license. I think they should have to be suspended at least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those people. Yeah, those people.
Yeah, actually, those people. Yeah, the crazy ones. So yeah.
Yeah.
A little justice there. A little justice there. Not a lot of justice, but a little justice there.
Well, you know, we're still operating on laws and stuff that was written when you could buy your way out of military service, you could buy your way out of prison.
Well, you still can. We
Right.
just went through a unfortunately elected president, who had bone spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of surrounding that
Mm-hmm.
in terms of there was a lot of interconnection
Right.
that allowed that one to go through.
Right.
Aw, we did talk about Gabby, Ashley.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to catch it on the replay.
Right.
Yeah, we're sorry the babies woke up. We don't mean to wake them. But since they're awake,
Hi.
hi babies.
And Sandy, yes, Aeson has shaved his goatee.
Mm.
He will probably not have his goatee back to at least when COVID's gone.
Well, at least when masks are no longer a life necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, poor Brenda almost didn't recognize you.
I know. Image changes are bad.
Well, it's a big deal.
It is.
Like, we even tell clients, like, you want to keep that image.
Yep.
Like, if you start branding and doing your marketing with that image, you kind of have to keep up the haircut and the look and the thing. So don't, like, let me know now
Mm-hmm.
if you're getting ready to go for a whole new look. Because,
Well, this
like,
isn't a whole new look. This is a whole old look.
well, true. Aw, sorry to make you have to catch it, Ashley, but
Thank you, Sandy. I love being called a baby.
aw.
But, no.
Well, you're starting to get some questions, but yes. No, it's a little bit of justice. It's not a lot of justice.
No, it's
It
not
really
a lot.
$2,000 is not going to hurt them. The law license would really hurt them if they suspend that. Especially since he is currently or attempting to running for, I just missed it, U.S. Senate.
Yes.
Oh, there was another charge. Misdemeanor 4th degree assault, ordered to pay a fine of $750. And then, that's all he got.
Yeah.
And then his wife got the $2,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think as a convicted criminal you can run for either.
Well, but misdemeanor, not a felony.
Yeah. I think that we should upgrade them both to felonies. Call Judge Judy, have her write an order for it.
Well, but it's going to be very hard to be, like, his resume shrinking there.
Yes.
Is what that means. Is fundamentally that is cannon fodder for a counter campaign.
It is. It is. It is. All right, let's take these questions, and then we're going to talk about the other two articles, and then the documentary we watched.
Awesome. All right, so we are starting out with Kathy, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
We are. So, yay, Kathy. Hello. So Kathy 72862. This guy named Jeffrey, is he for real? Will it be a great relationship with trust and no violence? He lives in upstate New York. Part of me is scared.
Let's take a look here.
Okay.
Kathy, I'm going to say this. It's too new to tell if it's going to be a great relationship. You guys still have some negotiation to do. I think he's being for real, but with that, I'm going to caution you to take your time with this. He needs to show up and be himself, and you guys need to get the communication down and see what you do with this. Because right now, I'm not even putting this at first date level. This is more like at first conversation level.
There we go.
Yep.
And then we've got Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
82696. Aeson, what's going on with my life right now?
Welcome to Mercury in retrograde, touching Pluto all over the place.
Yes.
All right, what's going on with your life right now? You've got some challenges going all over the place. You've got some fears you're going to have to handle. Remember that this is a time of abundance if you control your money. Then we do have some upsets, some packing up and taking your things away. And you are taking on, again, too much. You aren't drinking or eating enough as you should be. Okay.
And then Mary had just popped in a question, but she also had asked if we had heard that Willie Garson had passed. And I had not. And it took me a second. It was one of those names that just, an actor by like the role, not by themselves. And I hate to say that. But yeah, Willie Garson from Sex and the City has unfortunately passed. He also had roles in Cheers and Family Ties, White Collar, NYPD Blue, Hawaii Five-0. Yeah.
That's a lot of them, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hoping someone has took Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton and Reba and wrapped them in bubble wrap and put them in vacuum seal bags.
Well, not Reba.
I know she got COVID on us once. She better not get it again.
No, she had to be rescued from a building.
Oh my goodness.
Last week, the staircase collapsed at this historic building she was looking at. They had to run a fire truck ladder up to the floor she was on and haul her out. Like, it was, I kept looking for more on the story, and she's just like, everyone's fine. We really appreciate being rescued. It seemed like it was a lot of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe I have to be rescued from a building. And it's not burning, it's just the staircase collapsed.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Shannon said she saw someone state that they needed to put a protective circle around Sir
Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Weird. I'll go Ian McKellen. I'm not sure on Patrick Stewart, though. I think that would be a very large circle, and he'd run around and cause chaos.
Well, that's just wrong.
That's just wrong. True. That's just true.
We're going with Mary now.
Okay.
So Mary, 11/28/57. God. Still no word from last phone interview. The work I really want to do is with a certain Fortune 1000 company.
Mm-hmm.
Comments?
Julia Jats, relax. Remember, corporate jobs do not hire outright. This isn't a McDonald's. They're not going to get back to you immediately, and they are still in process.
Yes. So Ashley has another.
Uh-huh.
And I'm having to go pull Ashley's date of birth. I know it's here somewhere. Sorry, guys. I'm struggling today. Oh, forget it. We know Ashley's old enough. Like, we already got her date of birth. Forget it. So follow-up question. Does Sonny get a CDL before the year is up? Do I get the job this week? And will Sonny's health improve?
I feel Sonny will get his CDL, but he's going to have to get his sugar under control. That's going to be very tight and hard for him to do. He needs to get serious about it. Following his medications, managing his diet. It's highly important, especially to maintain his CDL, because they will pull it over health issues. Also, he needs to work on his squats to pass the physical. I do feel you get the job this week, but I feel like you got to figure out what you want to do with it.
Okay.
Okay.
And yes, Brenda, I'm with you. Staircase collapses while you're looking, then that's one you don't want to buy.
Well, staircase is collapsed. We don't know why she was looking.
Well, true.
She could have been looking to shoot the next video because she does have a new album coming out. There's a few of them that have albums coming out.
Oh, I want to look that up real quick. Like, what was this? Like, I know it was a historic building. I got that one. Oh, so NPR has this one. So yeah, this was in Atoka, Oklahoma. So, quote from her: "While my team and I were in Atoka, Oklahoma yesterday, checking out an old historical building, a staircase collapsed," she said on Twitter. "Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Safely evacuated. Gratitude to the city's fire and police departments for their quick response." Wow.
Can you believe she's 66 years old?
Yes, actually, I can believe it. Not because, like, oh my God, she totally looks it, but just like she's been around a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's had a long career. So unless she was like 18, started, she kind of has to be 66. It makes sense. But yeah, apparently, oh, here it is. Thank you, NPR. So McIntyre and her team were touring the building in downtown Atoka on Tuesday for a future project. No other details released behind the future project or how the historical building would have been used in it. But apparently it did, for Travis Mullins, emergency management director for the city. Quote, "It opened our eyes to see exactly just how unsturdy they were. And when they did collapse, we saw what little was holding those stairs up."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of attention.
Right.
Reba McIntyre rescued pretty much draws a lot of attention to the stability of your buildings quickly.
Right.
Oh, but yeah, no. Guess they won't be using that one.
Probably not. Probably not. They might choose one, or they may choose to restore it. She's been known to do that.
Well, there is that.
She's got the money to go in there and buy them and redo them and open restaurants and all kinds of fun stuff.
True. So it may be determinant on, how much she likes the building for the project.
Very much so.
But that's still got to be scary. I just can't. Now, there was a TikToker recently whose apartment complex, they removed the stairs.
Right.
And I saw that one, and I keep meaning to look like that had to have generated a news article.
Right.
I keep meaning to look for it, and I still haven't. But like, she ended up trapped in her apartment for days.
Right.
And couldn't get out because they literally came through and cut out the stairs while she was in her apartment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying this euphemistically. I'm trying to figure out, one, how you sleep through that. But two, how do you not think to evacuate the people in that building before you start that? Like, if you're going to remove the access to someone's apartment, how do you not think to be like, "Hi guys, got a problem here"?
Yeah. Well, what I don't get is, how do you remove a staircase while you're still renting to the tenants?
Well, fundamentally, it's kind of the same boat I'm in. Like, one, I can understand there can be emergency situations. I lived in a building that we had a dual staircase. Thankfully, we had a dual staircase. And one of the staircases over the course of a winter went from being in kind of rough shape and needed some repair to we literally, because this was a metal frame with like cement poured in it, we actually had multiple stairs collapse all at the same time. So, of course, we had to kind of like, okay, no, this is condemned. Go all the way around.
Right.
I hated it. Let me just tell you that. Those were steep stairs to begin with. Really not what you wanted to have to do with your groceries. And try to remember.
Yeah.
Like I was scared to death that whole winter someone was going to screw up. Because like every time we had like really high winds or, you know, like things like that, like severe weather, the caution tape, because they were just using the cheap stuff, would get ripped down. But no, I can understand you can have a situation that develops that maybe you weren't paying attention to, that you weren't really concerned about, that all of a sudden went from like, okay, we got to fix that, to, oh crap,
right,
we're screwed.
Right.
Okay, but then you would think the next logical step is, okay, everybody out. Like, we're going to get you relocated. We're so sorry for the inconvenience, you know. Like, okay, here we go.
Hotel that we're putting you in.
Or at least get you into another unit. Like, go ahead, turn on the power, like all the utilities, and be like, guys, we'll cover this for a month or two. Like, forget your rent for a month or two. You know, we're sorry. We know this is really inconvenient.
Right.
You know, so here's what we can do to help you.
Right.
Because you've been displaced from your apartment.
Exactly.
It looks like this landlord just decided, like, no, you're good.
Yeah, we'll just replace the staircase.
Just you wait up there. We'll get new stairs built eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, or you would think that they would at least, if that was, because this looked like it was a cemented in staircase, you would have thought they would have done like at least a temporary wood structure. Like, you could throw that up in a day.
You can throw that up in a couple of hours because it's all pre-made now. You just basically screw it together.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't necessarily take a lot.
Right.
I mean, compared to leaving someone trapped in an apartment.
Well, they could have thrown a ladder up there. Of course, you'd have to watch for the stickers.
Well, there is that. But no, I would think you would want something more substantial than a ladder. Ladder is a rescue. And I think that was actually how she finally got out. Was someone came over, not a member of the apartment complex, but someone came over and brought a ladder.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
I can't follow that one. Hi, Charles Show. Oh, what is up? We got a few different news articles. So
exactly.
We got a fair amount of stuff up. How about you? How are you doing?
All right. Well, it's interesting because now we're having to get ready for a rally.
Oh, yeah. That's not a news story I wanted to read.
I know it isn't.
So, yeah, police are ready for a rally supporting January 6th rioters prepared to call in National Guard. So this is back in Washington, D.C., and the fence around the Capitol is back up.
Yeah. For the rally happening on Saturday. The fence is up. They're calling in the National Guard. They're taking video. They've increased surveillance. I think they've armored stuff together.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a repeat.
Right.
I think, like, to borrow some of our January 6th so-called patriots language. I think if you show back up for a rally right now, it's going to be a horrible case of fuck around and find out.
Yeah, I think they're going to be testing their assumptions. Now, the permit only allows for 700 people, but he believes, the manager believes that it is most likely possible for violence will endure clashes between the protesters and counter-protesters who are expected to show up. Police are also preparing for the possibility of some demonstrators may arrive with weapons. Yeah, this isn't going to be good.
Nope. I think it's going to be yet another ugly day, but for a different reason.
Well,
one, just the fact that we already have National Guard mobilized, that's great. That was a big part, if I remember correctly, of our problem on January 6th.
right.
In terms of response and like getting, having those resources deployed. One, deployable and deployed, as well as the fact that they had actually laxed security prior to January 6th events.
Exactly.
So, all in all, I think it's going to be a totally different situation.
Yeah. I think it'll be a very different situation.
And yes, Charles, I would hope this would be an opportunity for really no one to go there. No, well, Sandy, I hate to say, I'm kind of, I'm tired. I am Madeline Kahn tired.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't know what that is a reference to, I suggest you go look that up after the show. Because that's one of the best bits Madeline Kahn ever did. It really is. So, yeah. But hi.
Yeah.
See, now, Charles, you look like you're getting ready to go in that category where we're going to bippity-boppity ban your ass. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Like,
fun, but we don't play games, Charles.
Yeah. But, hi, Mary. We smile.
Mary. Oh, and in other news.
Oh, and hi, Victoria. We missed you.
No.
So sorry.
So, in other news, it's official. COVID-19 has killed about as many Americans as the 1918, 1919 Spanish flu.
Well, and here's the weird part. That's based on this, as far as we can tell, the most official numbers. And that's also in the same vein as COVID-19. Which is, we very likely will not have, we may never have a full and total count.
Right.
These are the best numbers we have, and they may be well on the conservative side.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I do. Oh!
Hi, Charles.
Okay, we'll let you play around. I'm so sorry. The name didn't hit me.
Yeah.
Our neighbor is watching.
Hi, Charles. Now you figure out what we do on Tuesday nights.
Oh, okay. I'm better now. Sorry, unless you watch frequently, we have a problem with, like, we get people that come in and like start shit, and it's like, be careful here. Because we've had some people come in and it's gotten really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like we oh god, yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few fun experiences with my job.
And great reference. That immediately smacked it into my head there. We bought the second camera on your house. Good job. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Shannon, we're good.
Yeah, he can give a shit.
He can. He can literally walk over and ring the doorbell in the middle of the show repeatedly. It would drive us all nuts. So in case you do want to bribe someone to annoy the crap out of us, contact him.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I knew this was going to happen. I said this was going to happen almost a year ago. We have compared the two plagues weirdly within the same time period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1818 or 1918, 1919 versus 2019, 2020. So yeah, basically 100 years later, here we are. And ironically, we're falling into the same situation with it.
It is the same pattern. People have not learned from history. It takes the same precautions. It's the same dang thing.
Well, and I'm wondering, and I think we do already know. I don't know why I'm wondering. If there was the same reaction that they were going to be able to just stomp it out and this will never be a thing. And now we have flu shots. That's the 100-year lasting, effect of the Spanish flu. And we're already starting to talk about this may be our new flu shot.
Yeah.
Now you get a COVID shot and a flu shot, and
yeah,
it will hopefully not be a big deal for everyone.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. Hopefully it'll be like, oh, it's September. It's time to get my flu shot, my COVID shot, my pneumonia shot. But we got to get to that point. We're still in the freaking battle. It took up until 1924 to get H1N1 under control.
So what?
1924.
That is not H1N1.
Yes, it is H1N1.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. I don't allow it. I'm no.
Yes, darling.
I'm sorry. Motherfuckers. Really?
Yeah.
I had the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Jesus. Dang.
Guess what? Anybody that's ever gotten the flu has had the Spanish flu.
Well, no. I mean, there's other strains, but actually, that it was actually H1N1.
Yes.
I did not catch that because that went back around and I got that.
Yes.
And oh my God, that was I've had the flu before. And no, this was not the flu. I understand why people died. I was at a point I wished I had of. Granted, I was trying to work with it. Not like I had a choice, but I was trying to work with it, and let me tell you, you hit about 30 hours of your week, and with a temperature of 104, and you get a little loopy.
When are you not loopy?
Hey.
But anyhow, I thought you knew the Spanish flu and H1N1 was the same thing. And then
why the hell did we turn around when H1N1 went around and not just say, well, the Spanish flu is killing more people?
Yep.
100 years ago they had Zip. Oh, well, that's true. That's because of cocaine. They put that shit in everything.
Yep.
That's how we ended up with the hot sauce lady, just so you know. I'm making that up, but that's how I think we ended up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, 104 is a lot. Like that, granted, I'm working from home, but yeah, I was, woo.
Yeah, you should have stepped out on your and worked from your deck. You probably would have felt better.
I don't think I needed the temptation to jump.
Okay.
I would have. Granted, it was only the second floor. I would have just ended up the weird dude in the bushes and scared the hell out of my downstairs neighbor, who was actually quite nice, and would not have deserved that.
Right.
She would have freaked.
Yeah. Now, Patreons, I am going to post this article because I think it's very interesting. They've done some photo comparisons, like photos of the time, and they compared it to the photos.
There's a lot of overlapping reactions.
Yes, including what we're seeing with the no maskers.
Yeah. Well, not just with the anti-mask, but with the mask mandates in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything old is new again.
Uh-huh.
Like they kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
And it did act well, and there were a lot of consequences for people, not listening.
Yeah.
As in there were some major events that happened in those years, that actually became mass spreader events.
Yes, like the New Year's Day parade in Pittsburgh. Which, gee, I don't know. Could West Virginia have anything like that? Yeah, Bridge Day.
Well, granted, our Bridge Day is a little smaller than New Year's Eve in Times Square. But I see your point.
Not at that time.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah.
I see where you're at. It was not the big deal then that it is now.
Right.
Took a few years.
Yep. All right. So you actually got me to sit down and watch a TV show yesterday.
Well, no, I got you to watch a documentary 4-part series. That's not quite the same thing. But I did. I ran across one on and a lot of people have been talking about it, the LuLaRoe documentary. Which goes through the beginning of the corporation towards its present day. Holy shit. That was wild. That was wild. There were a lot of things I did not know. But there's also I just have to say, they seem like really evil people who pretend to be nice. Like they're like they are the embodiment of toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Like they are human toxic positivity. As in, I think they truly 100% believe the shit that comes out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And it's all spin.
You're right.
And it's like, you're just thinking negatively.
Right.
And it's like, no. Like, you can shine the turdy, stretch pants all you want to. It's still a turd.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I'm still stuck on how did this become a thing?
Right.
Like, some of the early stuff I get. Like, those made some cute office wear, active wear sets.
Right.
And then it got to a point, I don't know if everyone else was in the same boat I was, that it was like, no, that's not professional.
Right.
Like, some of it was cute in the beginning, and it was professional, and I could see people wearing that to work.
Right.
And then there was a point where it was like, what the hell do you have on, and why the fuck did you wear it to work?
Right.
Like, that's where I ended up with it, is, yeah, the leggings are ugly. In the end, Now some of the early stuff, like the skirts and the like sweater things, they were kind of nice. The patterns were a little more subdued. It wasn't crazy. It was,
Mm-hmm.
it was fun workwear
Right.
that, yeah, you could wear on a random Tuesday, and it wasn't a big deal. And then by the end, it was like, and even one of the graphic artists was like, we were so stressed to put out artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just anything. Just throw it out there. Just do it. Just pull it off the internet. Just go.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, we kind of got that.
Right.
I go a little back and forth on the leggings are not appropriate for office attire. I don't typically have a big problem with what someone wears to work. Like, be comfortable, but try to look professional.
Well, I don't know. I'm debatable on leggings, and here's why. It's how you dress them.
Some of it is that. Some of it is that. And some people are, you do not know what you're doing. Don't even think you can pull this off.
Yep.
Because, no. You're going to end up looking like the hairdresser from Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
And, like, that's too much.
Right.
But yeah, it depends upon what you put with them, like how you're wearing them, how
Right.
loud they are.
Exactly.
Like I put it in an akin to,
Mm-hmm.
I ended up outing myself at work because we had this policy that went around that we were no longer allowed to wear sandals in the workplace. They were unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sheepishly went into my boss's office and was like, do I need to go home and change? And I got this look of teetotal confusion. No one had caught on that I was wearing sandals in the workplace.
Right.
Because I had a really nice pair of dress sandals.
Right.
And coupled with a pair of dress socks, they just looked like, really nice shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I said something,
Uh-huh.
me always the first one to like get my own ass in trouble. Like I tattled on myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I think that leggings are great, but I do not like the ones that have like the little foot in them from the 80s. Like those were terrible.
Oh, now that's different. Those are stirrup pants.
Well, stirrup pants are terrible.
Good luck trying to convince anyone who worked in the 80s of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone wore them. And same thing, going back, like, talk about, everything old is new again.
Right.
But yeah. Let's see, where was it? Just scrolled up. Oh, yeah. So Shannon had said it depends what you put with them.
Mm-hmm.
Business casual with a tunic or jacket is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people? Now in the 80s, it was all about the turtleneck.
Right.
Like you remember stirrup pants, turtleneck, and usually like a mid-calf boot.
Right.
Yeah. Like everyone wore that.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, like, and if it was really cold, you put a sweater over the turtleneck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, full, like, pullover.
Yep.
But yeah. Oh. Oh, no. Cheap, thin ones that show the smiley face on the front of your underwear are not appropriate.
Right.
As one of our ladies found out. Says Brenda. Yeah. Oh, and Mary's like, I remember them in 1966 for a time. Yeah, everything old is new again.
Exactly. Women
Like, it just keeps...
Well, and this is what gets me. Men's clothes hasn't changed since the 90s. We've had the same wardrobe. We have had the same, khakis and T-shirts and polos.
Hey, leave it alone, though. Leave it alone.
Why?
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Because if our old comes new again, we need suits.
And the problem with that is
Oh dear God.
you look
No,
amazing in
I'm
a suit.
like either A, I've got to wear suits and I'm going to spend a ton of money for stuff that I destroy, or I'm going to end up looking like Andy Griffith's show mechanic Gomer. I'm going to end up looking like Gomer Pyle.
You won't look like Gomer Pyle. I take you down to Charleston. We buy you nice clothes from that lovely little store. You have a full closet of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I'm a uniform guy. I have always been a uniform guy. I have basic uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then yeah, basically, like I've been living in the polos for like way before I entered the working world.
Yep.
I found polos somewhere around middle school. There was a brief time I actually wore a sweater vest.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in sweater vests. Oh, sweater vests and penny loafers. God, no one knew. How? How did you not know?
Well, I'm not with you on that sweater
Because
vest.
even my sisters ragged me for that one, that they should have known then.
Right. But I'm not one for those sweater vests. Those things are. I don't like your cardigans either. Those look awful too.
Oh! Okay.
Now, a regular vest with a nice shirt looks amazing, and a pair of jeans, even better.
Oh, Brenda, I can make this so much worse. It was gray. It was a gray sweater vest.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give away that it was a 4X because at the time I was like 380 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it was a wall of sweater vests that came barreling down the hall.
Uh-huh.
I went through a phase. That's all I can say. I don't know. The 90s screwed with my head.
I know. But no, I would be happy if the suits and tie came back into fashion. I'd be happy if the kilts came back into fashion.
Oh, and I guess I should explain one more thing. I used to exclusively wear dress pants because I'm going to explain this the best way I can. I was a 100-pound kindergartner. I've been big for a long time. So when I started kindergarten, my clothes did not come from the boys department. I had full grown-ass man pants that had been chopped at the knees for my height. The only problem with that is I couldn't wear jeans, and I still hate jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And it has everything to do with the seam
Mm-hmm.
in the seat. Gap, or not Gap, but Old Navy jeans are the only jeans I can wear comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
Because that seam in the middle, when they make, one for bigger guys, but two, when you're a small child in adult male pants, that seam is flipping huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it was uncomfortable as hell. So I wore dress slacks.
Uh-huh.
To put all that together.
See, this is what I don't understand. Why don't they just shop early and buy you men's shorts?
Because that ends up being even more work. Because if you buy dress slacks, they have a natural taper to the leg. And it isn't that much more work to fix it. If you buy shorts, one, they're going to look like, they're what is that stupid word? When your socks are showing because your pants are halfway up to your calves.
High waters.
Thank you. And two, my mom and my grandmother would have had to have spent a lot of time taking the square leg of a short and tapering it. Okay. And trying to get it right, and it would have been more work than they wanted to put into this. Because we're not talking about one pair of pants for a kid. We're talking about a whole like school year wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, what I found interesting is some of the things that the workers were talking about, well, the retailers were talking about with this company,
Mm-hmm.
and listening to some of the stuff that other big corporations say all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but the way they used it though,
Yeah.
it like there's just so much toxic there.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of like because a lot of it was meant to sound inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was meant to sound like women's empowerment, and a lot of it was meant to sound like wholesome family values.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a really screwed up perversion of that. Like when you look at the company and what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and then you look just a little deeper,
Right.
it's like, no, you were doing something else entirely with that.
Right.
Like you created your own definition for these words.
Right.
Like they had certain meanings. I think the one that was the most sinister was they ran this campaign, which was effectively retire your husband,
Mm-hmm.
which was to get LuLaRoe consultants to a point that their husbands were realizing that she makes more than I do. Why am I still working? Like, I should quit my job and just stay at home. And they were really pushing that as a value for their consultants, as a goal, as an achievement. But then you dig below it, and what effectively that would have done is all their eggs would have been in the LuLaRoe basket.
Mm-hmm.
Their entire household income,
Mm-hmm.
nothing but LuLaRoe. And at that point, as an independent consultant, if your entire household income depends upon this,
Mm-hmm.
you can't leave.
No.
You can't just up one day and say, I'm no, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is your mortgage, this is your rent, this is your utility. Well, mortgage mostly, because they were also pushing their consultants to spend it.
Well, not only that, but they were forcing their consultants to follow their LDS status of buy a home, buy a car.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy anything on credit except more LuLaRoe.
Yeah, take out a credit card, do that, sell your breast milk,
Mm-hmm.
to get that 5,000 or 10,000 you need to start your career.
Right.
Oh yeah, well, no, actually, in my family, we could not have done high waters in the 50s. Dad, that's where it came from. His dad absolutely hated that look. Side note. He hated that. My grandmother was notorious for high hemming pants.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, you're basically stuck on, like, ironic that they tell women to sell breast milk to join as independent consultants. When effectively long term they want to get you so latched to the LuLaRoe breast
Mm-hmm.
that you have no choice but to keep milking, because otherwise you lose everything.
Well,
And consultants have.
right. And see, what I didn't like about this one, and this is something that's very important, because there's networks that do this.
Mhm.
Buy-ins. It was a $5,000 buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
There's networks that had approached me, and the buy-ins like, oh, 2, 5, 600. It's like, I don't buy into anything. You're not providing.
What am I buying?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that has to be the question: is what are you buying?
Mm-hmm.
But the really shocking thing was when they got sued by the state of Washington. And they brought this up, and they really drew a lot of attention to it in the documentary because it is super important. Was because the state of Washington was arguing this is a pyramid scheme. LuLaRoe was saying, oh, it's not a pyramid scheme. That's not how this works. But they had this one graphic that showed like the income of an average consultant
Mm-hmm.
that was like mid-level or higher.
Right.
And effectively, all of their money came from the bonuses of other consultants' sales that were underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you compared that to the money that they made off of direct sales,
Right.
like their own sale of goods,
Mm-hmm.
it was actually negative.
Right.
Like, so the thing that you thought you were getting in to make money on, these people were losing money on. And the thing that was just supposed to be a little bonus, a little extra, for and it is a serious thing that needs compensation when you have multiple people under you
Mm-hmm.
that you are supposed to be helping and mentoring and, etc. This little bonus had gotten to a point that, that's your income. You'd be stupid not to keep bringing people on.
Right.
Because that's your moneymaker. Your moneymaker isn't the goods.
Right.
You're going to go negative on that.
Mm-hmm.
Your moneymaker is the number of people you can sign on under you to keep going up and up and up and up and up
Right.
from, the first bump from consultant to trainer to blah, blah, blah to mentor.
Right.
That's your moneymaker. It's
Right.
a literal definition of a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
You can't make money off of selling the shit.
Right.
That's a pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
It has no value. It has no real value.
Right. But it also nobody was looking at this shit. And that's what worries me in general with these companies is who's watching them. Who's keeping an eye on like clothing and manufacturing and that your clothes that you're buying at Walla World isn't sitting out in the back in the sun until they put it out on the rack.
And that was the thing. That was one of the things, even from the beginner story, like when all this stuff started blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here going, you sell clothing. I get if you had storage, like shipping crate, like the big shipping containers.
Right.
I get if you have a bunch of those in your back lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are sealed. Those go on the back of ships across oceans. They're pretty well sealed.
Right.
Okay, that's a reasonable level of protection for your product.
Right.
These were bins. Like when you walk into a craft store and they have the big wire bin stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's on wheels.
Right.
That's what they were shoving all this inbound inventory they hadn't had time to process yet into.
Yeah.
They just dumped it in a bin in the parking lot and maybe threw a tarp over it. And maybe didn't.
You can't do that.
Like, how could you not do the 1, 2, 3 conclusion?
Mm-hmm.
It's a real simple thing to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. So Monat is worse with their car situation. I'm confused. I'm sorry. It's also hard to keep up with all of the 31 and Sensi and whatever new thing is out at the moment. Young Living and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever new version of Amway, Tupperware, and Avon.
Right.
Which, okay, technically those are considered legitimate multi-level marketing, but still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wonder if you're talking about Mary Kay and their car situation.
Really?
Yeah, you don't own the pink Cadillac anymore.
What?
Yeah, they don't buy you a pink Cadillac. They release you a pink Cadillac. Yeah.
Oh, no, Monata is a pyramid scheme for hair care products.
Ah.
Okay, so they must have a car thing as well. But yeah. Yeah. Mary Kay, nah, you have to give it back. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. See, but those changes went through after Mary died.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old Mary Kay and the new Mary Kay are two different Mary Kays.
Oh. Oh, so Mary Kay actually just leases it for you and it's yours to use, and Mary Kay makes the payments. Monat, if I'm saying that right, I hope I am, leaves their contractors with the payments, their consultants who win the car, if they don't keep up their performance. They will leave you with the payments for the car. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I much prefer the Mary Kay version of that, is at least they cover the car payment.
Right.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. But no, she's the one to develop this business strategy. And watching her son destroy a company is ridiculous.
Well, how many? Well, yeah. It's still.
Right.
I don't know. I can't say I've ever loved Mary Kay. Avon I kind of like, but
I love Avon. We have a lovely Avon representative. I don't have a Mary Kay representative because I can't find one.
Yeah. That should basically tell you something, because I will say in West Virginia, if you can make money at it, someone's doing it.
Exactly.
Like, I will say that. Like, I've not known a single LuLaRoe consultant in West Virginia.
Oh, honey, I have on my mailing list at least 3 of them because they were at every festival that we hosted.
Wow.
Them and the Perel are. It's what your niece was doing in Maryland.
Oh,
that's because she never had jewelry that fit me.
Oh, yeah. The jewelry thing. Yeah. I don't know. I get worried with all of them.
Right.
I mean, because a lot of them are built around a false promise.
Right.
And some really broken psychological tactics. And that's probably the key word to take away from that is this a psychological tactic? Because it's never an answer to tell someone that there's something wrong with you.
Right.
That you can't achieve. Like, no, you start at, like, okay, so what are you doing and how is this going and what can we do differently?
Right.
That's a coaching session. Telling you that you must have something wrong with you, which is what LuLaRoe was doing to their independent consultants.
Yeah, you ain't working hard enough. You ain't doing this. You
don't want it. Yeah, you don't want it. You didn't try. You're the failure. Right. So yeah. Oh, Mary Kay does have a find a consultant near me.
Yeah.
He prefers to like meet people directly. Like, he doesn't just want the random one nearby. He wants to know the one nearby.
Right. I want someone that knows me and knows my style and knows my colors, and I can just message them and say, I need toner, or I need foundation, or I need a new lipstick for fall. Done.
Well, and technically your Avon rep will, like, if you want it, she will find it.
Yeah.
Like, if it exists. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like she found a cologne that you had in high school.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wow.
Yeah.
Like, because that had been a while. Excuse me.
But I do like Avon's products. I like their consultants. I did leave Ipsy. Ipsy was starting to piss me off. So you guys haven't gotten Ipsy box reviews.
Yeah, that one turned on you
quickly.
Like, it started out and it was like, okay, this is a good deal and I understand why you're paying for this and this makes sense and that's cool and, you know, these are all useful. And then each bag got worse.
Yeah, for about 3 months there, it was like all skin cleaners and all. And what it was is I went in and updated my profile, and they had finally given the gender option, and I changed the gender on it.
Yeah, and oh yeah, that blew it up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, then we have the additional horror of like everyone we opened. And I like part of me already knows this is going to happen. I'm allergic to aloe.
Right.
Another product which that shit's in everything. I'm allergic to aloe. That whole health and beauty section of the universe, like from shampoo, soap, conditioner, butt wipes, you name it,
Mm-hmm.
has aloe. So getting the makeup bags, a lot of the time it's, can I wear this, or like do I have to like wait? And it's like reading, no, you cannot wear this. You cannot touch me if you wear this.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it's gonna kill me. It's not like I have like an EpiPen and I'm gonna like blow up and cease breathing immediately.
Right.
It's not that level, but it's like I'm gonna end up with a rash. I'm gonna end up with some skin irritation. God help me if I'm sunburned.
Yeah.
I will scare the daylights out of you if I'm sunburned and hit aloe.
Yeah. But no.
Hmm.
Yeah. As soon as I changed it, started getting a ton of skincare stuff. Started not getting like some of the. I never got an eyeshadow palette after I changed it, and I'm like, this isn't what I should be getting in my bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bag got smaller and smaller, and I went,
Alrighty.
all
What
right.
am I paying for?
Yep.
Yeah. And some of it is also the challenge.
Yeah.
I will say that it's also like, I know Ashley's saying, of course, because men only want skincare options. And I hear the snark in that, but it's also just that there's a challenge there. There's not always a lot of companies that have been embracing of, men and makeup.
Right.
Like they're not cool with this yet. They're not cool with having male palettes. They're not cool with, I don't even think they're cool with having men use their product.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like, no, this is not for you.
Yeah.
And they seem entrenched in the idea. And it's like, no. Our company has been around for like 100 years. And we tell you what to wear. You don't tell us what you want to wear.
Right.
Nor do you tell us who you are. We tell you who you are. We define you. Like literally, when you think of it, makeup defines the entirety of a human face sometimes. Like it is completely defining the look of a face.
Right.
Oh. Aw. But yeah. Well, there is Mac.
My Mac.
Do I now?
I like my Mac. I like them very well. And Shannon's right. South Korea actually has a pretty big selection. However, there is a problem with a lot of South Korean makeup.
Mm-hmm.
It comes to the border and it goes back.
Well, there is that. There's also going to probably be some issues with color and tone.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm sure everyone who has ever seen us in the same room together can tell you Aeson has a darker complexion.
Yes.
By a long shot. I'm iridescent. I cannot, I'm practically glow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I get moonburn. Is where I live at. And so while he ends up more mid to darker range, anyway, when you start looking at a primarily a demographic that's going to primarily be in the darker range to start with, that can end up creating some issues, especially with palettes.
Yeah.
because that's built around like a general, like middle of the road of this like local demographic.
Mm-hmm.
It's why there's a lot of problems with American makeup on black skin.
Right.
Is in all of this was built around the idea that it's going to be worn by some, Scotch Irish blonde or brunette, maybe a redhead. And that's their middle of the road. And that's what they shoot for when they're putting this palette together, is what's going to look good
Mm-hmm.
on this like ivory, cream, nude skin tone.
Right.
And then unless you have another company that comes in and says, okay, that's cute and nice and that's wonderful, or the company has the thought of that's not our entire market.
Mm-hmm.
There's this other market over here
Mm-hmm.
that this shit's not going to work for.
Yeah. It's not even going to show up.
It's not going to show up. It's not going to look right. It's not going to balance right. It's gonna do weird things
Mm-hmm.
with the way light hits a face when you're working with a darker complexion.
Yeah.
Yeah, violet eyeshadow can be a wonderful thing, but that doesn't look the same. I will say now, you got to do a lot to make violet eyeshadow look good on a black woman, because otherwise it looks like she got punched in the face. I will say that. I've seen it. I've seen women do this.
Mm-hmm.
That violet especially is a bad eyeshadow choice.
Well,
because I've seen a few women walk past me that I was like, did your boyfriend hit you?
Well, I have to give it to one, though. The Jeffree Star's palette, and nobody really liked it, but it was a very good one called Blue.
Nothing detected at the front door.
No, he wasn't kidding.
He wasn't kidding. Charlie, we're still online, bud.
We're still live.
We have to go, but that's okay. I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But Jeffree Star's Royal Blood palette came out with a beautiful purple, and there's a makeup artist that I watch on YouTube. Amazing on that palette. And some of the palettes she had criticized and said, these are crap for us. That one was one she actually liked. Now, I wish Jeffree would do a neutral palette. Really wish he would come out with a men's palette.
Well, but that's not really his. Like, I don't think he's neutral. Like, he doesn't do like natural tones. That's not his stick.
Right.
It's not his thing. That's not his look. It's not his interest.
Right. But I think it'll be a great one. I think it'll be a great connection. I think he'd do a great, he's done some other wilder ones, and do some wild colors. All right, you go deal with that, honey.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to, I control the board. Oh, gosh, it has been a fun night. It's cool that our neighbor has discovered we have a live stream. These aren't things that we advertise often. We love talking to you guys. Oh, ooh, Michelle Phillips' makeup in 2012 Dark Shadows movie. That was a good one. That is a good one.
Motion detected at the front
A
door.
manual palette will have a lot of tans, a lot of tones to it. It would have maybe some darker colors. I think it would be great if it was a palette that had a natural tone to it and a translucent, so that not a lot of like pinks and purples and glosser shimmers. Like, they will have this beautiful natural tone and they'll put shimmer in it. And I'm like, I can't wear that out. I can't wear that to the office. And you're not sounding rude. Men makeup is a whole different ballgame. Foundations, toners, everything is whole different. There are beautiful makeup lines out there that will look amazing on certain demographics of females. You put a man with that same skin tone and it will just run off me. And I'm like, I'm done with that. Totally done with that. Oh, but so you won't be getting Epsi. I'm looking at BoxyCharm. I may take a look at them. I may see how that kind of rocks and rolls there. Um, yeah, different skin types because of the hormones, because of the oils. My skin's more oilier. Now Shannon's a close makeup because she's brought me makeup before. We match very well, but makeup will look gorgeous on her, and on me it'll look like crapola. Yeah, I would love to see Crown do a palette. I would Morphe. I've got problems with Morphe because Morphe is a dressed up Chinese company, and people really don't do it together. Mm. L'Oreal drugstore. I love L'Oreal. I love let me see, color something. I'll do a get ready with me. And show you what I'm using and where I'm using it from. But my foundation comes from Avon.
Oh, Charlie came over and he was not kidding.
Oh, okay.
I think he just joined Patreon.
Awesome.
We got to figure that out later.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wild night.
Yeah. Very wild night. Very awesome.
But yeah, he sent his love and appreciation for the show.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Ready. I'm not an Estee Lauder fan. I'll be honest. I know their makeup seems very well, and it looks great on Mary. I've seen Mary in makeup multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ashley, I think you should go back to makeup whether you go back to work or not. I'm going to state an old rule, and people don't like it when I say it, but I'll say it anyhow. At minimum, for your own self-confidence, you should have lipstick and mascara on. Don't care which gender you are.
Well, and if you have an especial personal self-confidence, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I always want to be careful with this. Like, I don't think makeup advice should be one size fits all.
Right.
All the time. Like, lipstick and mascara, not a big deal. But like, use it to make yourself more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I know a lot of women who use it and a lot of men who use it to even their skin tone.
Right.
That, they either hate their freckles, or the arrangement of their freckles, or the tone of their freckles just irritates the daylights out of them. Use it to level, to get where you want to be.
Right.
Or don't wear it. I'm also there. I'm like, if that doesn't make you happy, if you don't like the person that stares back at you in the mirror, don't wear that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear any of it if none of that makes you happy.
All right, Ashley, I'm going to recommend CoverGirl True Color for foundation. They have the most shade ranges. It's a nice matted finish. It'll hold up. It'll stay there. Get the cream. The all-day powder foundation's lovely. Stay away from liquids. And then I would also get translucent. Lipstick, I would go with Revlon. I love the Revlon colors. I don't do a lot of blushes, so you're going to have to kind of experiment with that. And then I would get a very wide range setup.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah.
Experiment, have fun.
Yeah, play.
Like, I have a friend, and it works for her. You've got to know her. And I couldn't believe she got to carry it into the workplace. I really couldn't. She has long-term been a fan of neon green eyeshadow. This girl is blonde, pale white, with neon green eyeshadow. And I was like, okay, that's cool in college. You're fun and hip. I'm like, you're not going to be able to wear that in the workplace. But I tell you now, she works in the financial industry. She's very good at her job. And she's still rocking that neon green eyeshadow. And it shocked me. I thought an early mentor would like beat that out of her.
Right.
Like, nope, can't wear that here. Like, these people are too old, white, and crotchety.
No, eyeshadows you can get by with.
Neon green, though, that's a statement color right there.
Frosted baby blue. Dear goddess.
Oh, but it's coming back around.
Yeah, honey, in another 5 years. Now, the brand of makeup I want to try is called War Paint, but they never have stock. Like, I don't know what their deal is. Maybe they only do small batches, but they never, ever get it in.
Okay, so what's the big deal with War Paint?
War Paint is a male-branded makeup.
Oh.
Designed for men.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah.
A little bit, no, not entirely Mimi. Like, I don't mean, you mean like the friend of Brenda's with the frosted baby blue eyeshadow. Yeah, that's very Mimi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my brain had to stop and process. I didn't want anyone getting the feeling my friend was walking around looking like Mimi. She doesn't. Like, she rocks it. It looks good on her. It's just, I don't know anyone else who could pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a color.
Well, it's what fits you. It's like me. I don't think that I look very good in bright purples and bright pink eyeshadows. Not me. I don't know. See, I'm really questionable about trying anything from eBay, especially when it's like a name brand product. And here's why. There are dupes out there all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It probably is not going to be the real thing.
Or if it is, it means this is why this stuff is sold out and the price goes sky high.
Right.
Like, it's like scalping tickets. Either the ticket's real, in which case a lot of people got screwed over because this person probably bought a crap ton.
Mm-hmm.
And meant that a lot of people couldn't get their hands on it except through eBay or Amazon or whatever marketplace. Or it's a fake.
Yeah.
Oh, and Shannon's looking at it online. Ultimate War Paint set, $204.
Yeah.
That's expensive. But so-and-so has a palette that's... I know where this is going.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Okay, I can go to the drugstore and we can spend $40 here and $50 there and $25 here and $35 here and $15 here and order this and order that and, call up Avon and go, I want this and this and this and this.
Yeah. No, I get it. Is
like
it
last year,
it's going to cost
$600 on makeup.
Do what now?
Last year, we spent $600 on makeup.
Yeah. Well, and no, I get it. You can end up piecemeal spending way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
Trying to get the parts you want of.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just buy the thing.
Right. Like the bronzer. My bronzer, I think we paid $27 for.
Well, and then there was also, and I forget what it was exactly, that like you had the worst time with.
Foundation.
Yeah. Like finding one that like actually worked.
Yeah.
Like worked with your skin, worked with your skin tone.
Right.
Was didn't do weird things on like the uneven parts of your skin tone.
Right.
And like lasted.
Mm-hmm.
That was the key one.
Lasted, like didn't melt off me.
Oh, some question from Mary there. Jensen, ladies, how long do you keep your foundation? 6 months?
If you look on the package, it'll say anywhere from 30 to 45 days.
That's just, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
Because you know there is someone out there that is still like doing like every date night once every 6 years is still like grabbing every
Well,
time.
I'm gonna lay this out there. Do not keep your mascara for more than 30 days, people. This is why you get pink eye and crap. Eyeshadows, if you get an eye infection, throw them out.
Yep. It's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then there is like getting stuff that's been imported that is,
Heavy metals.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta watch
Or has been, and the one with, if they do on China, I don't want to deal with them. And here is why: because the ones in China you have to be tested on animals first. I'm not into this for animal cruelty.
But Fluffy looks so pretty.
Fluffy looks pretty, but we're not torturing animals.
I know.
Not for makeup.
I know. But yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yep.
And I think you were more surprised in the beginning that I had zero problem with this.
I was not overly surprised with that. I was more surprised with all the products that I had to go, okay, where's my fucking makeup? But guys, I've worn makeup for years. Years. There was at least 2 husbands that never saw me without makeup on. Just
True.
because of how the things are.
Well, depending upon the situation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because there was the drag queen era.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like.
And then there was the bar boy era. So, yeah.
Well, and especially that specific period of bar boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, certain eras had their things.
They had a lot of things going on there. And
I mean, it's not like you wear as much makeup as Kiss.
I can. I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time. I don't have 8 hours to prep.
No.
My makeup routine now is like 20 minutes.
Yes. Yes, Ashley. Aeson in drag. There are photos.
Yes.
She wants pictures in the break room. So he will drop them. He has no problem dropping them.
Yeah.
And before you ask, the hair is natural.
Yes.
It's not a wig.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. I personally did not have an emo phase. Like, here's the screwed up thing about me. I've always been friends with emo people.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been friends with, Wiccans and pagans, and like I don't know, it just how it worked out. Like, I wasn't scared, I wasn't afraid, I didn't really buy into this whole, oh, they worship the devil and like they're evil and blah blah blah. No. I've always had Wiccan and pagan friends and emo friends and lots of friends who wore makeup and lots of friends who were different, period. So no, I'm just sitting there thinking back, like I had a large number of friends that like seeing them without makeup was actually a little scary because it was just one of those things that you got used to it. And like, it was just part of them. It's how they look.
Right.
And then, like, you one time see them at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and like they had gone to bed and they woke up and shit was going down.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you're looking at them like, "Where's the rest of your face?" Like, like I'm not prepared for you to have blonde eyebrows and blonde eyelashes. Like, I'm not prepared. It looks like half your face is missing. Like, go put that back on. You look weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are those moments. I will say that.
Right.
Oh. My mom would say they're crazy, and they would ask if she had met me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. It has been great chatting, and we had fun tonight.
We did.
We did.
And I think we do have to give a special shout out to our neighbor Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and of course we do want to thank our Patreon sponsors: Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryan, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, Shannon D, and Lady Gwendolyn. If you'd like to learn more about us, about the show, or how to become a Patreon sponsor, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
Yeah. And have a wonderful night. Wear your mask. Take care of yourselves. We will get through this. It ended 100 years ago. It'll end again.
It will.
It will. So until then, bye, y'all.
Bye.